Hi, welcome back to me and Mon Ami, and today's a very big day because, well, we're finally going to answer all the questions that you've asked us, and we're going to do it while we stroll around Villefranche. So foolishly, last week's video, we said, send us questions you have, because I know for many years people have said, why don't you do an Ask Us Anything? Why don't you just do a Q&A? We thought about doing a live Q&A, but I just know it'll all go wrong. There'll be technicals and I'll get into a bad mood and it'll be too hot and then I'll start complaining. So instead, what we've had you do is send in your questions, and you've sent in quite a lot. We're going to try and answer most of them. I mean, the ones that are fit to print.
Not the rude ones.
Not the rude ones. Now, I should also say that I have not seen a single one of these questions, because Mr. Boo is the administrator on the Me and Mon Ami website, and so he has collated them, and we made a decision that if I saw them in advance, it would spoil the fun.
It'd spoil the fun.
So some of them are for me, I guess. Some of them are for you. Some of them for both of us. But as I say, we're going to wander into the village to answer these, because I know you like to see what's going on, and we'll try and show you. Waving at us, Mr. Boo.
Hello.
I think it must be some fans who are staying at Chez Betty. Well, we always recommend Chez Betty, don't we? We do. Have a great trip. Oh, Mr. Boo, what's the first question?
Well, the first question was like fingers on buzzer's fastest finger. It came in. It was the first question we got, and it's really hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah.
It was from Daryl White asking, let's cut to the chase. Peanut M&Ms or regular M&Ms?
Regular.
Regular.
And yet I'm a real peanut addict. I can't have them in a drawer because I just eat them all. Anything with salt.
True.
Anything with salt, I am absolutely mad for. In fact, I eat raw salt, don't I?
You are. It's terrible.
It's terrible. When I'm cooking, I eat salt flakes. I mean, I'm not sure this is relevant to the M&M question, but it's given rise to this thought.
Rise to this thought.
Rise to this thought.
But our first real question came from Rich Castle, saying, with August getting so hot and busy, are you planning to escape next summer?
We plan to escape every summer. The problem is we can't, can we?
We can't.
It's your fault. I can escape. I could go away, but it's your busiest time of year with all the Airbnbs, isn't it?
It is my busiest time of the year, and this year especially. Where are we going to escape to?
I know. I mean, we tried with the San Martin Vesuvio thing, and I think it was slightly cooler early morning, whatever, but we didn't really escape the heat.
It was not a coldcation.
No, it wasn't a coldcation. It's the new phrase going to enter the lexicon, coldcation. But no, absolutely. Would we love to? The last 2 years have been, I hate to just moan on, but I think anybody who's been here would agree. We've sort of coped with it by just really getting up early, swimming, and then coming back, and I've just carried on working and sat in the aircon. But as I've said before, sometimes you feel like it may as well be raining outside because it's just a bit too hot. I think it's fine if all you want to do is lay on the beach, but if you've got anything at all to do, it is very tricky. Shall we go down, Mr. Boo?
Let's go down. Our next question was from Alberto.
Alberto?
Saying, having holidayed a lot in Paca, if you had to live somewhere else in the region, where would you choose?
Oh, gosh. Where would you choose, Mr. Boo?
I don't know. I love Villefranche so much. I mean, it would be a big change, but I suppose I'd live in Nice.
Yeah. I mean, as we've often said, because we live on the sort of fringe of Villefranche, we spend an awful lot of time in Nice because it's so near. And all our sort of facilities and shopping really is done in Nice.
And gymming.
And I get my hair cut in Nice. Actually, I don't. I've got some head trimmers, haven't I?
You've got a head trimmer.
Head trimmer. Strimmer. It's this Philips shave. It saved me a bomb.
Saved you a bomb.
Cost €130, but every time I do it, I've saved €20.
You have?
So it ultimately I'm quids in, but it's quite laborious, quite time consuming.
It must be awful.
Keeping up to your toe. Anyway, Where would I live? Gosh, I mean, we've kind of like Saint-Gene quite a lot, haven't we?
We do like Saint-Gene.
I think it's quite livable. It might be a bit too quiet in the winter. It's the thing with the villages on the outskirts and the sort of foothills of Nice. There are some absolutely gorgeous places. You know, property prices way lower than Villefranche and all of that. Your problem, I think, it could be that it's just a little bit too far to come into Nice on a daily basis. And now you may not want to do that, but it could get a little bit isolating if you were there year round in winter. But there's no doubt, it's nice to go and escape the crowds. You know, I mean, we're walking around Villefranche now, it's what, 9:40 a.m. on a Thursday morning. But you know, is there a cruise ship in today? There is. You know, when we get down onto the front, once the cruise ships start bringing the tenders in, you'll see that this is not quite what it seems, and it'll get an awful lot busier. I mean, the other place we're interested in, it's not quite Pocket, but you know, when we started looking for Italian ruins just over the border, and we'll have more news on that in the next few weeks, in fact, because we've been looking again, and in fact we saw something we really liked, but there's all kinds of complications. But you know, that is a definite possibility for us, isn't it? Because there is, you know, you're just over the border into Italy. We wouldn't be going to live there. We'd still be living in Villefranche. It'd be just somewhere to escape, and somewhere to escape the crowds, and somewhere to have a garden and some space, and something we'd actually own. Because as we've often said, we're very fortunate where we live here. It's absolutely fantastic, but we don't own anything. So I think that's the answer. It's a bit of a non-answer because we're both a bit baffled as to where in Pocket we would live. But I think you're right, Nice. There's times when you think, particularly in winter, you think, oh, it'd be quite nice just to be in the city.
Yes, for sure. But I'd miss getting up. I couldn't imagine going to get in the sea in Nice. Can you?
No. Not really, no.
We never do, we never have.
And that's the bit we absolutely love here. But of course you can only do that really up to about Christmas, and then it gets a bit too cold.
Oui.
January, February, in fact for Mr. Boo it's a bit too cold in December, I'd say. November. So we just stopped for a pit stop. Fougasse from the Boulangerie in Place de la Paix. We love these, don't we? They're like bacon and cheese.
Bacon and cheese.
Bacon and cheese for your brekkie. Show us it, Mr. Boo. We were too busy eating it. Look at that. Cool. Can't beat that. Postie on her way on her truck. Something we seldom do, isn't it? But there's something lovely about just wandering around the village at this time of day. Just seeing it sort of gradually come to life. Waking up. And this little boy is waking up. Bonjour. Okay, Mr. Boo, what's the next question?
Our next question is from Will and Kate.
Will and Kate? What, the Royals?
I'm not entirely sure. It didn't say like.
Well, we do
at
have
KensingtonPalace.com.
They don't live there now. They've downsized to that vast country estate.
But it's true. They asked, what is your favourite place you've filmed other than home?
It's a tough question. I had to have a break there to think about the answer. I think we really enjoyed filming in Corsica, didn't we?
We did. It was true adventure for us.
It was true adventure. The camping, the storms, the mountains, the goats in the middle of the road. It was genuinely sort of what the French call sauvage, wasn't it?
Sauvage.
It felt like a proper adventure. And you know, we did enjoy years ago doing the crazy sort of Barcelona trip in the Citroen. I mean, I say enjoy. We enjoyed having done it. I used to say when I was writing more that I don't enjoy writing. I enjoy having written.
Very true.
And it was kind of true with the AMI trip because it was incredibly difficult and incredibly hard work and painful at times with backs and bags and God knows what and stressful and expensive. But actually, when we came back, we put the videos together and we sort of. It was an unforgettable trip.
It really, really was.
You know, maybe you do have to suffer a bit for your art.
It's true.
Suffer for. I used to say that I've suffered for my art. Now it's your turn. That was for the audience. But yeah, I mean, you know, so that was a memorable trip. But you know, so many places we've been. Where was the place we absolutely adored when we happened upon it? Set. We thought was amazing.
Set we
wasn't
loved.
It? And the one by the water with the canal? Was that set?
That was set.
Oh, that was set. Game, set, match. So yeah, lots and lots of places, but we know that I think probably our regular viewers, you kind of like us around this area, really. If we go away for you like us to do adventures, I think, but if we go away for too long, you get a bit sad. Somebody said that Barcelona trip, I had them on one of my panda tours, and the guy said that our Barcelona trip lasted longer than The Crown. And the irony is, his daughter was the Queen in The Crown. I won't say her name, but it was very, very funny when he said that. What's your next question, Mr. Boo?
The next question is...
Drum roll, drum roll.
What is the most embarrassing thing you filmed and then decided you couldn't put on YouTube? That's from Mike.
Did we put on YouTube the man who pooed off the bridge?
That was the thing. That's what I was thinking. The most thing that I thought, we can't put that in. We can't put that in.
Did we put it in?
Of course you put it in.
Oh, I did. I mean, it was absolutely staggering. We won't go into too much detail, but it was a very strange man, possibly with dementia or something, who seemingly was living in the medieval times. And where was the town?
We were in San Remo.
San Remo, and as we were walking on the street, he pulled his trousers down and defecated off the bridge. Which probably they would have done in medieval times. So maybe he was living in the past. I've got to be honest, we have edited certain times when possibly when I've lost my rag, because I do have a bit of a temper, and we once left in me having a big Barney shouting at Mr. Boo because he couldn't hear outside the Panda, and I was trying to park it and blah 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 blah. And wow, I got some stick, didn't I?
You certainly did.
I got some stick for being a nasty husband and all the rest of it. And the bit that nobody, I probably deserved it, but the bit that nobody really realised was the reason I was shouting so much is because we'd been used to being near me, where when I shouted you could hear, because the walls are about that thin. In the Panda, you couldn't hear, so I'm like going, and you were going, I can't hear you, and I was just getting more and more stressed. So we've definitely, I think we've probably edited some of my worst successes. Maybe we should put together a tape, but I don't think we'd have any viewers then.
Oh la la.
Do you?
No, perhaps not.
Have you edited anything?
No, I tell you when your jokes are not appropriate.
Do I do off-colour jokes? It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. And YouTube sometimes can be an irony-free zone, though I think we're lucky that you lot, by and large, tend to get the irony.
Yes.
Don't you?
Next question. From Michaela, where is the craziest place you've been spotted by a subscriber?
Gosh, literally everywhere, isn't it? I don't say that egotistically, but it always amazes us.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in Seyon, 6:30 at night or something.
Yes.
It's a tiny, tiny village with nobody about. And the one car comes towards us, a red Jeep, and it's a guy who's been watching us for years, and he was super excited to say hello, and we were super excited to meet him. We once went to London, didn't we? And we went to a furniture place called Soho Home, which is on Westbourne Grove, and very, very high end, very posh. And the guy came running up to us, and I mean that was surreal. And he had a place, I think, in Monaco, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he was between London and Monaco, whatever. But he definitely had watched us. But by and large, our fame is very local, isn't it?
It's very local. Although I will say, I got spotted again in Harvey Nichols in London.
That's true.
And they've become super friends of the channel, and so
they did. They brought us some nice presents.
They got some presents for Twiggy when they came on holiday here.
Yeah.
So always nice to be spotted.
Absolutely, it's always lovely. Well, 90% of the time it's lovely. It's just occasionally you might be in a bad mood or
trying to film something,
or trying to get somewhere. But if you see us, do say hello. We actually love to talk to people. And also what's brilliant about it, it's like when I have people in the car for the Panda tours, I get to actually ask you what it is you like to watch, what you don't like to watch, and so it's kind of, what's that dreaded phrase, qualitative market research.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Qualitative market research. Anyway, we're heading up to the rail station now. Let's see what's happening here. Check there's no pickpockets, Mr. Boo. Hold on to your wallets. Boo, I think these are people possibly off the cruise ship who've come to the station to get the train to Monaco or to Nice.
Yes.
But, it'll be busy. But as we say, it's one of the only things that's problematic around here at the minute, crime-wise, is the pickpocketing. Really, really, really watch your wallets on this train. You won't get mugged, but you will get pickpocketed. And a little tip, as you see everybody there fighting to try and see on that machine to get your ticket, go onto the app. What's the app?
SNCF Connect.
SNCF Connect. You can buy your ticket online. It will save you so much hassle instead of using that machine, which is really quite difficult and often rejects the cards anyway.
And if someone offers to help you with those machines, do not
fall for it, because particularly if it's a certain ladies, they're scamming you, because basically they'll help you with the machine. And the person behind them, the spy, the watcher, will make sure that they get your PIN number. We know somebody that happened to. So it's a sad thing to say, but reject help in those circumstances unless you think the person is definitely not a pickpocket. What's the next question, Mr. Boo?
Well, speaking of market research, Jordan, again, I don't know if this is Katie Price or not, Jordan says, what YouTubers do you watch?
Oh, well, we watch the Chatter Guys, because we're always referencing the Chatter Guys with their coat hangers. And we watch the Explorers.
We watch the Explorers.
We watch Retired Working For You, which is a channel about Thailand. We watched another channel about Thailand. What's he called? The cook, Gary the
roaming cook.
Gary the roaming cook. We like that. We watched Paddy Doyle,
of course,
also Thailand.
Friend of the channel.
We've spent some time with Paddy in Thailand. We watch Rocky and Kimball, also Thailand.
We watch all of Rocky and Kimball.
We watch all of Rocky and Kimball. In fact, we might even have a clip of something we shot with them, but we never managed to get in. We met up with these two guys who are some vloggers we absolutely love, Rocky and Kimball. Rocky and Kimball have got a fantastic vlog, really well edited, all about their new life here in Bangkok City. So now we watch Riviera Go a little bit, don't we?
Yep.
To see what the ladies are up to down here and what because their channel's all about the French Riviera. We occasionally watch Nikki Positano.
That's true.
That's all about Positano, obviously.
We watch Fern.
We watch Fern, Weston Bennett. We always watch Fern because we're friends with Fern. We like to know what she's up to, what the kids are up to,
and we were watching Ryan's channel. Ryan, make some more content, please.
Ryan, make some more content, please. Yes, get on with it. He says he's busy.
We're all busy, Ryan. We're all busy. I watch a lot of Drag Race content.
You watch a lot of Drag Race. I can't bear it.
And it's
not an anti-drag thing. There's nothing I like more than the Paulo Grady and Lily Savage and everything, but I just never got into Drag Race.
No.
You watch a bit of Trini, don't you?
Yeah,
I don't mind a bit of Trini when she's wandering around Zara telling you which knickers to buy.
Yep, exactly.
Ooh, a bit of thunder, Mr. Boo. Can you hear it?
I can. That's weird, isn't it?
That's thunder. Look at that giant cruise ship. It's not a cruise ship. It's
a spaceship.
It's a spaceship. Yes, look at it. Absolutely vast. That does sound like thunder. If you're wondering what's happening with the weather, well, we're still in a heat wave. We've dropped from orange to yellow, and we're promised by the middle of next week we might get somewhere near to normal temperatures. What's the next question, Mr. Boo?
From Ian Cook. Do you listen to Riviera Radio?
Occasionally in the car. We do listen to Riviera Radio. I used to love it when I first came here. It used to have a thing that used to say, Riviera Radio, the soundtrack to the good life. And I don't think they meant Margot and
Jerry.
Margot and Jerry Good Life, no. So yes, occasionally we do listen to Riviera Radio. Next question.
Stacey, do you have any more photos or videos of you back in the day?
Back in the day? Oh God, that's a question I think we probably do.
Porque mi amor, why did you leave me waiting here
I was listening on the wireless this morning, and they were saying everybody was getting their O-level results today, and I was trying to clock back to how many years it was since I got mine, and it was 43 years ago.
Blimey.
And I can remember it like yesterday, skipping down Carlinow Hill from Batley Grammar School, floating on air. I got 7, including a grade A in English, but I failed my physics and my chemistry. In fact, I barely turned up for the exam because I hated it so much. I found it so boring. Bunsen burners and pie charts and nonsense. History, I didn't like that much either. Now I love history. History's wasted on the young, I think.
It's true.
It's
I
a boring
agree.
subject at school. You think, oh, 1066, and all. It just seems like a string of facts. But actually, history teaches us nothing. Apparently. That's a cynical view. And I never like to be cynical.
No, that's for sure.
Never. Be careful, I don't fall off this wall. Next question.
So we've had 2 health questions.
Health.
Stephen in Antibes, who I recently ran into in Villefranche on his velo.
What, you ran into him?
No, I didn't run into him. I wasn't driving. He was coming down the hill and he was like, oh, hello. He says, Tim went to Italy for some serious dental work. How did it all turn out?
My implant has been absolutely perfect. I mean, it was very painful to have done at the time, but it's been perfect, and it was stratospherically cheaper than getting it done in Nice.
And faster.
I would say the only thing is that there was a big language barrier. They really didn't speak any English. Why should they? The bedside manner wasn't quite what I'm used to with my dentist in France. It's a very, very nice place. It's got art on the walls and all the blah blah blah. Whereas the orthodontist place we went to just over the border in Latte is just a bit more spit and sawdust, isn't it? But they've done a great job, and as I say, it saved me thousands. So when I need some more doing here, I'll be going back to there, though I'm not relishing the thought of having another implant.
No, thank you.
They work and they're great, but there is a degree of pain. There's no getting away from it. And I think you do need a little bit of luck talking to other people about whether they last or not.
Yes.
You know, but touch wood, mine is still there. This crown needs replacing. You can see it's horrible colour. So it was just about dentals, not other health.
And the other health question was Tim in Tond was asking about your skin cancer treatment.
My skin cancer treatment that I had in Thailand, because I didn't realise I got skin cancer. I had this sort of thing that been on my back. It's about 4 years ago, removed, and they took a biopsy of it, and then on Boxing Day we were sat by sunbathing by a pool in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, and I got an email to say you got cancer. That was a cracking Christmas. That
was a cracking Christmas.
I've never liked Christmas. It's never been a lucky time. It's my birthday at Christmas. I don't like that either. So that they did a large excision and all the rest of it, and that was all clear. And I've remained clear since. I go to see a dermatologist here every year in Beaulieu. She's very nice. She tells me off for having too much of a tan. I don't sunbathe very often at all now, but we do swim, and I try and keep this hat on when I'm swimming, or another version of it. So everything is fine, and hopefully this new vaccine that they're talking about today will have a profound effect on people with skin cancer or melanoma stage 2 or whatever. But my big problem suddenly, post my dad dying, he had terrible mobility towards the end of his life, and I seem to have inherited creaking bones. I did have a bone scan, and it shows that I've got osteoporosis in my back, doesn't it, and osteopenia in my hip. And I have had terrible sciatica all this year, and I've tried everything. It's getting better, but it's very slow, and there are good days and bad days. Mr. Boo gets sick of me. Do I moan?
Next question.
Yes.
From Marcus and Lauren.
Oh yes, I've heard of them.
Following on from last week's video, they wanted to know, where did you learn your magnificent dancing skills?
Well, I think I probably taught myself. At school, I was I was in the school play. I was in Greece, the musical. They cast me as Danny Zuko because obviously I was charismatic and good-looking and a natural lead.
Well, not for your singing voice.
The problem was, A, I couldn't sing, and B, I couldn't dance. I could sort of do the acting bit. And I convinced them. I said, look, I promise you, I cannot sing. They said, no, there's no such thing as somebody being tone deaf. So they started giving me singing lessons to try and get me to do I'm All Alone at the Drive-In movie, etc. And eventually they realised it was never going to happen. I was as flat as a fart. And so all my songs were sung by Kaniki in the pit. And I mimed along. It was so daft.
Back to Drag Race with your lip syncing.
It was lip syncing, it was. And the dance moves, I think I learned to do the hand jive. You know, born to hand jive, baby, like that.
Yeah.
But that was the extent. So I don't think I'll be going on Strictly.
Speaking of TV, I can't remember who asked, but somebody asked if you were offered a Netflix series.
Yeah.
It was Kathy. If Netflix offered you a series but insisted on replacing Mr. Boo with Stanley Tucci, would you accept?
Yeah, definitely. That's your simple answer.
I like that question. I'm not sure about the answer.
But what about if they offered you one, Mr. Boo?
Would I accept? Of course.
You would not without me, though.
No, I didn't.
It wouldn't be the same without me. It just wouldn't be the same. Bonjour, ça va? Look at this guy's got some nice sandwiches here. Look, cabernet. Look at this, fish and chips. You can get, yes, and pulp, and burger of tuna, and you can even have some enfants in bread rolls. No, menu enfant. Lovely, delicious. There you go. Next question, Mr. Boo.
Next question, Mark in Macclesfield. Does Mr. Boo ever watch the finished episodes, or has he suffered enough already?
He always watches the finished episodes.
I always
because
watch the finished episodes.
But what we always do is have a screening, isn't it?
We have a screening.
Usually first thing Sunday morning before he has to go to work. And sometimes the screening ends up in screaming, doesn't it?
Screening and screaming.
Because, if it's a 40-minute video, say, or a 35-minute video, that screening does not take 35 minutes because you start and you go, right, let's make a cut there. That sound is not right. That graphic's not right. And so, that 35-minute screening can end up taking 2 hours and you're edging to get to work and I'm panicking.
Or to church.
Well, exactly. I'm panicking to get the video in the sky for the Sunday afternoon because you don't just put them up there. They have to process. There's the beach. Everybody getting ready for another day. Another day in paradise. Lovely. Wish I was.
There's a follow-up question from Brian on the same.
Is that an ancillary question?
It
An
is.
auxiliary.
An ancillary.
Ancillary.
I had an ancillary.
Did you?
Brian says you have an impressive camera audio system to broadcast
Oh,
with.
gosh.
Is this skill from your theatre experience or has it been more recently acquired?
All my technical skills were nothing to do. Well, a little bit. I did do a show in the theatre which involved video 20 years ago and projection on a big screen, and also when I did the Puppet of the Penis show, that we had a big screen and video projector. So I guess I had started to pick up some of that stuff, but really I acquired all of it in COVID lockdown when I just watched YouTube videos and taught myself how to do my best with all this editing equipment, and it was a long, slow road to learning, I tell you. But I do now feel I can kind of move at a reasonable pace. Here it is. Look at this lovely little. Oh, it's a 595. Now,
That's
what's the
nice.
difference between a 500 and a 595? Aren't they gorgeous?
It's an
It's an
595.
Abarth. We sometimes often we crave them, but you know what you're left with in the summer? You've got no aircon again. It's just like Elton. I bet they're absolutely roasting to drive around in, but they're so gorgeous. Isn't that lovely with its instrument panel? It's very high tech and in great nick. So lovely. They are the cutest things, and to me they're bang back, aren't they?
Bang back.
Bang back.
Love that colour.
Next question, Mr. Boo.
So from Richard Berg, do you guys ever argue? If so, what about?
Well, you tell me, because I always think we just get on perfectly the whole time.
Well, it's because you're just so amiable, isn't it? No, we don't argue really.
No, we go into we know we've fallen out about stuff, And we do occasionally explode, don't we? But we're not. I think I grew up in a household in which there were a lot of arguments. You know, this is not slagging off my mum and dad, but they could argue till the cows came home. So I think I grew up with that, and I hate it really, and I hate that aspect of myself because I have inherited some of my dad's temper without doubt. My mother was very serene, my dad had a temper, and I've definitely got it, haven't I? And it's probably the thing I least like about myself really. But I tell you what you do that annoys me. See, we should have saved this for Mr. and Mrs. Is he puts all the pots in the sink and then doesn't wash them up, leaves them soaking. So then somebody comes to the sink, i.e. me, and you put something in and bang, you've broken it. You should put them on the side. If you don't have to wash up, you should put them on the side, and then you do it when you know you introduce them to the water at the time you've got the water hot and you're washing up, because otherwise they just sit there in a smelly mess and get broken.
Do you know what annoys me?
What?
You never doing any washing up.
That thunder's really going.
It is. From Jason, Tim, having written a play about Quentin Crisp and performed a one-man show in Edinburgh, what?
And in the West End.
And in the West End.
Transferred, yes.
What is more frightening, a late night Edinburgh Fringe audience,
Yes.
or the YouTube comments section after you mispronounce a village name?
They're both different. I mean, the weird thing is, I still, when we put a video out every Sunday, there's still a sense of sort of a little bit of foreboding and fear. And I think, to be honest, if that wasn't there, you shouldn't be doing it, because if it doesn't matter, if you're just putting any old rubbish out to fill the time, don't do it. You know, so to me it's very similar. And as somebody pointed out, a friend of mine who still works in the theatre said, you know, he said it's like you have an opening night every week, and we do, quite literally. You know, I used to have an opening night probably once every 18 months, because that's how long a play takes to make and produce and all the rest of it. But so we have got this sort of weekly thing. So it's not so much fear with the comments. I mean, I think you don't expect people to always say nice things, but sometimes I will get you to read the comments first, because if you've just spent all week working on something and the first comment you read is "this was boring" or something, it kind of gets in your head, and you know, now if a lot of people say it's boring, you might think perhaps we've made a bit of a duffer. And we've never done a video like this today. This feels a bit odd to me. This feels quite nerve-wracking, because we're not going to a village, we're not driving, we're not doing all our usual things. We're just walking and talking, and sometimes you go, why would anybody be interested? You know, is this interesting? Well, I've invited the comment now, haven't I? This was boring. I can just see somebody writing.
This is boring.
So yeah, I think any YouTuber will tell you. By and large, you know, we've got such a great audience. You lot are so nice and so positive. See everybody setting up their restaurants for the lunch service. Tosca here. What does that do? Italian pizzas?
Italian and pizzas.
Yeah, there you go. The old square. It used to be that this was the sort of the restaurant area for Villefranche, but it's spread out now much more, hasn't it? Really, around the whole town and on the seafront.
And into La Darse.
And into the Darse, yeah. I mean, there's, you know, 4 good restaurants in the old harbour. Anyway, final question, Mr. Boo.
Final question, and it's something that so many people have asked.
Oh gosh.
Where next?
Where are we going next?
Where are we going next?
Well,
I think geographically rather than where is the channel going next.
We do have various plans that we've been working on. In fact, this week we've been working on them. We haven't really finalised them, have we, for the autumn? But
no, we've got lots of ideas.
We are absolutely desperate to travel. We wanted to go. I had full intention we were going to go camping in the summer, and the heat came in the start of June, and it was just impossible. The idea of being in a tent with no air conditioning was just ridiculous, to leave home and do that.
And also, climbing up and down to the roof tent with your sciatica, I don't think it would have been the best idea this month.
Sciatica and enlarged prostate doesn't really suit a camping trip, does it? It's getting medical again, you know. It's turned into an episode of Steptoe and Son. But anyway, we do have plans, and I think hopefully we will have finalised them by the next edition of Me and mon ami. Anyway, we hope that's answered a few of your questions. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, please give us a comment, please think about buying us a coffee. But most of all, folks, remember, stay charged.
Bye.